No, but seriously, did you know a man could shoot his load at a speed of up to 28 miles per hour? That's pretty stealth, if you ask me. Obviously, this can vary depending on the individual. Some actually go faster. 28 miles per hour is an average. I mean, when you really check it, in most residential areas, cars cannot go faster than 30 miles per hour. And a car on a quiet street doing 30 looks very quick. So imagine 28 miles, that's like 2 miles less. That's how quick semen is leaving his body. And to put it into even more context, imagine a rabbit is being chased by a fox. The top speed that rabbit is going to get up to is 30 miles per hour. It's likely it's going to kick up a speed between 25 to 30, but at its fastest, it's doing 30. His ejaculation moves at the speed of a rabbit trying to run for its life. And to give you even more context, his load is being shot as quick as Usain Bolt runs the 100-meter sprint. Pretty impressive. In terms of distance, i.e. how far it can go, that's up to 10 inches. His ejaculation can up and over 10 inches away from the body. Other factors that can affect the speed and distance of an ejaculation include his age and his overall health. Okay, so one of the questions that I get asked a lot, mainly by guys, surprise, surprise, but I'm here for it because education. I get asked, what position do women like? Now, that is actually a question that is mad to me because every woman is different and it sounds so, what a generic answer, but it's the truth. You cannot say one position is going to be the top position for every single woman on the planet. That would be insane. But I get it. I understand why a man might ask that kind of question because he wants to know how to move, what would work, what might not work. You know, he just wants to get an understanding. And I think if we are having sex with men, ladies, I think it's important that, okay, you can't speak for the population, but it's communication, isn't it? Let him know what you like, what you don't like. And then I guess the more experience they get, the more they'll understand what women require, the different types of women there are, the different things that women like. And, you know, they'll just get a better overall understanding of the mechanics of the amazingness that is the female body. But as I said, I totally get it. And there are a few positions that are faves, let's say, for women. So I'm going to put you up on game. First up, missionary. And that's for obvious reasons. It's intimate, it's intimate, it's intimate. That's the position you kind of do when you really want to get into it. A lot of people claim that it's really vanilla and it's boring, and it is kind of like on the vanilla side of sex, if you want to go there. It's quite a basic position, but as I said, it's an extremely intimate position. So it's favored for a few reasons. One of those reasons is the eye contact. You can get like some serious eye contact when you're in that position, like your face on. It doesn't get more frontal than the missionary position. You're body to body, you're just kind of connected in every single way from your shoulder to your, you know, all the way down, if you like. It's one of those positions that work really well where there's emotion. A lot of women like to feel connected to the person that they're sleeping with. And I'm not necessarily talking about, oh, love. I mean, in some instances, obviously, but just in general, that the connection, it's not just a cold mechanical thing we're doing. Like we're feeling something here, even if it is just for the moment. So yeah, from an emotionally connected perspective, missionary hands down. Spooning is another popular one. Lying side by side or kind of backed up into him in the spooning position. Yeah, it's nice, it's relaxed, it's intimate as well. And not only do you get the penetration from the kind of back, but side, there's also scope for him to actually use his hand and stimulate you clitorally as well. So this position allows for both, which is always a bonus. If it's about DP, then it's got to be doggy style or rear entry or hitting from the back or slapping from the back or shooting from the back or whatever you want to call it. Everyone's got their own term for doggy style. A lot of women love this position because it has the potential to hit the G-spot. The angle from which he's coming in is directly in line with most women's G-spot. There are a few factors that can affect whether it's being hit or not. That could be his size, the way she's set up, because again, every woman is arranged slightly different internally. I mean, obviously the design is the same, but how it's kind of all worked, everyone's different. And if you understand the way the clitoris is positioned inside the body, you will know that it's not just the bit that we see at the front. There's also a large part of it inside the body. And actually, doggy style can allow him to stimulate the clitoris from the back as well. Again, depending on his size and her setup, it can be all of that and more. So a lot of women do enjoy doggy. However, there is a kind of aside to that, because I think a lot of men kind of get it twisted and think that women don't like this position. Now, the reason why they'd probably think that is, again, this is down to communication. If there isn't any communication, he's never going to understand what's really happening. If he enters her vagina from the back at the wrong angle, at the wrong pace, with the wrong rhythm, you can do the math. She's not going to enjoy it. It's literally going to feel like she's being violated. When that happens and she's pulling away and she's like, oh no, stop, I don't like it, and she's not articulating why, he's just going to think one of two things. Yeah, man's a bedroom bully, just beating that up like she can't take it, wrong. Or he's just going to be like, she doesn't like the position. Both of which are essentially wrong. Well, they're not entirely true. The only truth in all of that is she didn't like how it was feeling in that moment. So communication is crucial. So yeah, I'm sort of digressing, but basically when men believe that women don't like doggy style or rear entry, this is often the reason why, because they've not understood why that woman didn't enjoy it at that time with them in that moment. Or God forbid, they might have heard similar stories from their friends. And so it's all like, yeah, women just don't like it. Okay, cowgirl, riding, panta. Again, we've all got different ways of referring to women being on top. Again, I think a lot of men underestimate how effective this position is for women if it's done, I want to say, on her terms. If everything is right, as in he fits her rightly, she's the right kind of excited, she's the right amount of lubricated, she's right mentally, she's there for it, she's completely on it, then this position is fire. She's in control. She can control the depth. She can control the speed. She can just vary it up. She can lean forward and get some of that clitoral stimulation going on. She can lean back and take it deeper, side, left, all of that. She's literally in the driver's seat. She's riding. She's on the top. She's in control. All he's got to do is lie there and take it. And to be quite honest with you, most men enjoy having a little bit of a breather. Most women would attest to the fact that they thoroughly enjoy riding on top. But I mean, if it's too big, it could be a problem because that's going to be uncomfortable. And of course, if it's too small, that has its own problems. And not trying to, diss anyone for having a smaller penis. I'm just saying, in terms of how it works when a woman's on top, if it's too small for her, it's not really going to work. Reverse cowgirl, that's a strong contender too. But I would say this position requires, I want to say, a certain amount of expertise. It's not for the faint-hearted, because if you're in the reverse cowgirl position and you make one wrong move, then it's pretty peak for you. Well, actually, it's pretty peak for you both. That could seriously hurt you and it could seriously wound him. Penile fractures are real. So go easy. I would say, if you're not sure, take it really, really slowly. I'm not even trying to give advice on how to do a position. I'm just saying. So it's important that women understand themselves and how their body operates and what works best for them and what doesn't work and why and where, and just know thyself. That's just got to be the thing anyway. Okay. I saw a meme online that said, if someone doesn't respond to a message that you sent them within 2 hours, then they're ignoring you. Straight down the line. That's what it is. I had an issue with that. It really, really bothers me, actually, because that meme just reminded me of the expectations we place on people. Like, I'm going to just flip this the other way around. You send me a message and I'm doing something, like I'm genuinely locked in on something and I can't respond. I might be able to see the message. I might even go into the message and read the message, but I can't respond, or how I want to respond, I can't right there and then because I'm doing something. That could be 2, 3, 4 hours. Like, you don't know what people are doing. I think we really need to calm down. It doesn't have to be that deep. Sometimes we take things too far. Yes, there are occasions where people are trying to mess with you. They'll read your message and be like, I'm not going to answer that. I'm going to make her wait, or I'm going to make him wait because I'm an idiot. Some people do that, 100%. We know this to be true. But there are other occasions, and I'm someone that likes to kind of try and give people the benefit of the doubt. I ain't no mug, by the way, just saying. But because I know how things are with me, I'm someone that has my phone like near me all the time. But there have been occasions where someone's messaged me and I haven't responded for hours. And it's not because I'm ignoring them. They didn't take it personally. And I certainly wasn't being funny. This meme was kind of more alluding to the fact that when you're on the dating scene, or if you're seeing someone and they don't respond, that's definitely where it was going. It wasn't just in general. It couldn't have been talking about friends and families. It could never. It had to be. No, 100%. It was about if you're dating, they don't respond to you within 2 hours, they're ignoring you. So I want to say, like, what happens then? So they respond like 3 hours later and they're cool. So what do we do? Are we just going to be arsy about it? We're going to be like moody about it? We're going to be in a strop? Are we going to be like, I'm not talking to you? What are we going to do? Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I ain't no fool. If something like this happens regularly, so if you're seeing someone and you regularly converse over messages and they often leave you on red, they regularly take hours to respond, then yeah, that's something that you might want to pull them up about, or just be like, you know what, do one, ain't got time. But if it's a one-off, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt for a one-off. And I think we kind of have to be secure in ourselves to be able to do that, because as much as it's easy to overthink, and I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't overthink, because I'm probably one of the biggest overthinkers on the planet. But you know what it is? I kind of keep myself in check because I know I can overthink stuff, but then I try and rationalize stuff as well. So I don't want to go in all guns blazing, because I look at it like this. When I come to a conclusion about something, I can't be swayed so easily. So, and this is with everything in life. I've got to be 100% sure that what I'm saying or what I'm calling it as is exactly what it is. So maybe that's why I'm like, okay, so this seems a bit extreme. 2 hours, yeah, it's a bit of a piss take, but is it really about being ignored? Maybe you're just not the priority in that moment. That's okay. Like, we don't always have to be everybody's number one all the time. Although I'm not being funny, but if I message my man and it takes him 2 hours to respond, yeah, we're going to have a problem. But then again, I don't even know if we would have a problem, because I would like to think if it's going to take him 2 hours to respond, then I'm going to gain an understanding as to why it took him so long. I think it's about being unsure about people. We only freak out and assume the worst when we don't know where we sit in people's lives. We don't understand our value in their eyes. Having mobile phones has actually made this insecurity that everybody potentially has increase tenfold. Having mobiles and having like your life in a device that you can carry around with you is a blessing and a curse. Being able to stay in touch with people and be connected to people so quickly has its benefits. But actually, mobile phones and the whole way we use them influences our behaviors and impacts us emotionally more than I think most of us even begin to imagine. The constant need for validation is real, number one. Social media. I think most people are unanimous when it comes to agreeing that social media has got the world in a chokehold. Validation is at the tip of your fingers. The problem starts when you are relying on that for validation. I am well aware of the fact that social media is one thing, real life is another. And I don't like to get lost in the source, because I know the type of person that I am. I'm a very all-in person. I have to be strict with myself. Setting boundaries is crucial. I think we should all have boundaries for ourselves. I can't allow social media to be my fix, because let me tell you, it is chemical. Interacting online and receiving notifications actually triggers the release of dopamine in the brain. Then that reinforces the habit. So you're kind of chasing that chemical fix. The more notifications you receive, the more dopamine in the brain, the more you feel good. Before you know it, you have a dependency on social media. Okay, so I learned something scarily interesting this week. Huntsman spiders vibrate when they mate. Male huntsman spiders vibrate as part of a culture ritual. I'm like, why? First of all, I don't want this information in my head. I don't. I just don't understand. I mean, like, why do we need to vibrate? Is it not enough that these spiders are so big that they not only spin webs to catch their prey, but they actually drop down onto the ground? They scurry around and actually attack prey like mice, like they'll hunt a mouse on the ground, hence the name Huntsman. Isn't that enough? Now I have to know that, understand that, and then add to that the fact that they vibrate when they mate. Apparently, it's all to do with the legs. The vibrations are produced inside the legs and it's transmitted to the surface that they're on. So whatever they're on, whatever this spider's on, the legs are going to start giving it whatever, and that vibration is going to be on the table. And to just finish me off, apparently the rhythmic sound that these vibrations make can actually be heard by humans if we're quiet enough. So imagine, actually, I don't even know if I want to, but just picture you're in a jungle with the worry of sharing the space with a huntsman in the first instance. You've got to live with that understanding. So imagine you've kind of come to terms with that. You've made peace with that. You've managed to lie down. You've somehow got yourself ready to sleep. You close your eyes. It's all nice and quiet. And then you hear vibrations. So not only has it been confirmed that there are Huntsman spiders around, so now you know they're shagging on top of it. And for what it's worth, if you try and get involved in an animal mating, they kind of get angry. I feel like humans would too. Like if you try to intervene when someone's having sex, you're going to get mad, right? Same applies to animals. So you can imagine you know what, I can't. Two Huntsman spiders going at it, vibrations just popping off. You freak out, maybe stand up, just try and get away from the sound, and then you end up like, you know what, it's all too much. It's all too much. It's all too much. It's all too much. I can't go. And on that bombshell, I'm going to call it a day. Thank you for listening. This has been episode 4 of Now But Seriously, the podcast with me. I'm Cheryl. You can find me across all social media at SHERRYLSWORLD. That's SHERRYLS World. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe. Feel free to comment and share. If you're listening on a platform where you just listen, thank you very much. If you want to share that, please do that. We would love that. We? Who's we? That's another thing. When people say we, like you're a collective, babes, it's just you one. What are you talking about? It's we. I would love that. So if you feel like sharing, if you feel like liking, commenting, and subscribing, I would like that. Until next week, take care.